You know, silence in a relationship, it can be a moment of peaceful understanding, or it can be a cold, hard weapon. There's a really fine line, and today we're going to walk that line together so you can understand exactly when silence is helping and when it's just hurting.
So let's just get real for a second. Have you ever been punished with silence? I'm talking about that heavy, suffocating quiet that just hangs in the air and makes you question every single thing you said or did. It just leaves you feeling totally alone, trying to solve a puzzle when you haven't even been given the pieces.
Okay, so let's break this down because it is absolutely crucial to understand that silence comes in two totally different flavors. First, you've got the healthy kind, what we call productive silence. That's when you take a time out to cool off, to gather your thoughts so you can actually have a better conversation later. But then you've got its toxic twin, punitive silence. And this is the one we're talking about, the silence that's used like a weapon to ignore, to punish, and to control you.
And that is exactly what we are zeroing in on right now. We're going to shift our whole perspective and learn to see the so-called silent treatment for what it really is. It's not just a lack of communication. It's a deliberate, aggressive act. Let's just call it what it is. Weaponized silence. It's the conscious decision to shut down communication, to show you they're unhappy, to punish you, or to wrestle back control in the relationship. It's a subtle move for sure, but it is incredibly powerful. But why do people do this? Well, the answer points to a much deeper issue that we need to unpack.
Because when you run into this kind of silence, you're not just dealing with a simple disagreement. What you're actually seeing is a giant flashing red flag, a warning sign that points to something much, much deeper going on. You see, this weaponized silence, it's a textbook example of passive aggression. It's the ultimate way to show you're angry without having the courage to actually talk about it. So instead of just saying, hey, what you said earlier hurt my feelings, they just go quiet. They stop talking, and they force you to try and figure out what's wrong. It's the emotional detour people take when they just don't have the maturity for a head-on conversation.
Using silence as a weapon is a red flag for emotional immaturity. Just let that sink in for a minute. This isn't just some bad habit. It is a clear, undeniable signal that the person you're with might not be emotionally equipped for a real, grown-up partnership.
So what does this actually look like? Well, ask yourself this. Does your partner shut down the second you try to express a need? Do they just disappear from the conversation when things get a little tough? Is their silence clearly a tactic to get you to back down or to apologize even when you have no idea what you did wrong? If that sounds familiar, you're not going crazy. You're dealing with emotional immaturity.
Okay, so recognizing the problem is half the battle. But what's the solution? Right now, let's talk about that. It's time to set a brand new standard for what you will and, more importantly, what you will not accept in your relationships.
Look, here's the choice, laid out plain and simple. On one side, you have the red flag, using silence as a weapon of control. On the other, the green flag, using clear communication to build a real partnership. One path leads to constant frustration, confusion, and anxiety. The other leads to respect and genuine understanding. The choice is yours.
And this right here, this is your new baseline. It is a non-negotiable. Clear, open communication isn't just a nice-to-have, it's the absolute foundation of any serious, respectful, healthy relationship you decide to build from this day forward. Period.
So here it is, a simple 3-step filter you can start using immediately. Step 1. You learn to identify when silence is being used as a weapon against you. Step 2. You recognize that this is a red flag for their immaturity, not a reflection of your worth. And step 3, you require clear communication as your standard. No exceptions. You hold that line.
And this is really the whole point. When you do this, you're not just dodging the silent treatment. You are actively filtering for emotional maturity. You're consciously choosing partners who are actually capable of building something real and lasting with you. Something based on respect, on genuine intimacy, and on growth. So as you go out and hold this new standard for others, let's just end with one last question for you. I want you to take an honest look in the mirror and ask yourself, what are you communicating with your silence?